Welcome to ESG Weiss, your go-to channel for all things related to environmental, social, and governance strategies. Let's continue to Part 2: Global and Regional Economic Outlook. Elevated debt burdens remain a critical challenge for global economies. Debt-to-GDP ratios, which surged during the pandemic, continue to remain high, putting significant pressure on fiscal health. Large budget deficits are further exacerbating this burden, particularly in economies struggling with slow recovery. Interest payments on debt have also grown as a share of government revenues, leaving less room for growth-oriented spending. For low-income countries, this is especially concerning, with interest payments estimated to consume 14.3% of general government revenues in 2024. Looking ahead, fiscal policies are expected to tighten in 2024 and beyond, with higher taxes and reduced government spending in both advanced and emerging economies. These factors are likely to dampen near-term economic activity, underlining the need for balanced fiscal strategies to manage debt while supporting growth. The government debt-to-GDP ratios in Middle Eastern countries. The data shows that debt levels across the region remain relatively manageable, with most countries maintaining moderate debt-to-GDP ratios. Notably, Bahrain stands out with a significantly higher ratio, indicating fiscal pressures. In contrast, countries like Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia have comparatively lower debt levels, reflecting strong fiscal health bolstered by substantial oil revenues and prudent fiscal management. The fiscal policy stances across various regions as surveyed in 2024. The data highlights that the majority of regions, including Europe, the United States, and Sub-Saharan Africa, are adopting tighter fiscal policies, with governments focusing on reducing deficits and controlling debt. In contrast, regions such as China and Central Asia are maintaining largely unchanged fiscal policies, reflecting stability in their fiscal management strategies. A few regions, like Latin America and the Caribbean, show a mix of looser policies, likely aimed at stimulating growth amidst economic challenges. Navigating business decisions in the remainder of 2024 will be heavily influenced by several key factors. The overall health of the economy remains the top concern, with most respondents considering it a critical driver of corporate decision-making. Monetary policy also plays a pivotal role as central banks continue to adjust interest rates in response to inflationary pressures, directly impacting borrowing costs and investment decisions. Other influential factors include financial market conditions, as fluctuations in equity, debt, and currency markets shape business strategies. Geopolitical factors also weigh heavily, with uncertainties such as regional conflicts, trade disputes, and global supply chain disruptions creating additional risks for companies. The accompanying survey data highlights how these factors vary in importance across industries and regions, emphasizing the need for businesses to adopt agile strategies and focus on resilience to navigate this complex economic landscape effectively. The growth trajectory of the GCC region is influenced by both positive and negative global trends. On the positive side, technological transformation and advancements in artificial intelligence are creating new opportunities for innovation and economic diversification. Additionally, the region's focus on green and energy transition aligns with global sustainability goals, positioning GCC countries as key players in the shift toward renewable energy. However, negative trends pose significant challenges. Rising debt levels and the ongoing impacts of climate change create economic and environmental pressures. Furthermore, geopolitical tensions and domestic political factors add layers of uncertainty, potentially disrupting investments and trade. Balancing these opposing forces will require proactive strategies, regional collaboration, and continued investment in resilience to ensure sustainable growth for the GCC. The sectors and industries expected to be significant drivers of global growth in the next 5 years. Information technology and digital communications top the list, with 70% of respondents identifying it as a key driver, underscoring the accelerating digital transformation across industries. Low-carbon energy, including renewables, follows closely, reflecting the global shift toward sustainability and decarbonization efforts. Medical, healthcare, and care services rank third, driven by aging populations and rising healthcare needs worldwide. Leisure and travel, along with engineering, construction, and utilities, also stand out, indicating recovery from the pandemic and the growing demand for infrastructure and urban development. On the other hand, fossil fuels and mining rank lower, signaling a gradual decline in reliance on traditional energy sources as the world transitions to cleaner alternatives. Similarly, agriculture, forestry, and fishing are perceived as less impactful sectors, possibly due to technological limitations and environmental concerns. Global energy prices have experienced a significant decline and are projected to fall by approximately 9.7%, with oil prices specifically decreasing by 2.5%. This decline is driven by increased production from non-OPEC countries and the continued contribution of Russian oil to the global supply. Additionally, prices for coal and natural gas have dropped by more than 25%, reflecting weakening demand and stabilizing supply chains. The graphs illustrate these trends, showing a steady decline in energy prices and a stable rise in world oil supply. These developments indicate a more balanced global energy market, which could ease inflationary pressures and support economic growth in energy-importing countries. However, these changes may challenge energy-exporting economies reliant on high prices to sustain fiscal stability. Nominal wages have remained largely contained in advanced economies, reflecting restrained wage growth despite inflationary pressures. Real wages, which account for inflation, are now close to or slightly below their pre-pandemic levels, suggesting that wage increases have not kept pace with rising costs of living. Notably, wage price spirals, where prices and wages rise together in a sustained cycle, have been avoided in most cases. Interestingly, wages at the lower end of the distribution have risen faster than average, highlighting a degree of wage recovery among lower-income workers. This trend may help alleviate income inequality but could also reflect labor shortages in certain sectors. The overall picture suggests a stable wage environment but with significant variation across different income levels and regions. Global trade growth is projected to moderate, with an increase of 3% in 2024 and 3.3% in 2025, maintaining relatively stable trade-to-GDP ratios. However, significant shifts in global trade patterns are occurring, driven by growing geopolitical tensions and fractures along regional lines. This realignment has led to the imposition of 3,200 new trade restrictions in 2022 and nearly 3,000 in 2023, a sharp rise from the 1,100 restrictions in 2019, according to Global Trade Alert data. These restrictions are a response to concerns over supply chain resilience, national security, and geopolitical conflicts. This evolving trade landscape highlights the challenges of balancing globalization with regional and national priorities. The global economic outlook is clouded by several downside risks, primarily driven by regional conflicts and structural challenges. New commodity price spikes are a significant concern, fueled by conflicts such as the ongoing war in Ukraine, tensions in Gaza and Israel, and attacks in the Red Sea, which disrupt transportation routes and increase costs. Persistent inflation and financial stress continue to weigh on economies, particularly in vulnerable regions. In China, recovery is faltering due to risks in the property sector, which could have broader implications for global growth. Additional risks include disruptive fiscal adjustments, leading to debt distress in some economies, and distrust in government eroding the momentum for critical reforms. Finally, geoeconomic fragmentation is intensifying, with geopolitical divisions increasingly influencing trade, investment, and supply chains. These interconnected risks highlight the urgent need for collaborative global efforts to mitigate their impact and stabilize the economic environment. Thank you for watching this video on ESG Weiss, your trusted channel for insights into sustainability, innovation, and responsible business practices. We truly appreciate your time and interest in exploring topics that shape a better and more sustainable future. If you found this video valuable, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Your support helps us continue delivering impactful stories and solutions. Together, let's make a difference, one step at a time. Thank you and see you in the next video.